Hi guys! Welcome to the Women Are Worthy show. I missed y'all. We haven't seen each other since, well, let me get started because I know my editor is like, come on, keep going. But I really missed you guys. We haven't been together since, I think, November, around Thanksgiving. And I want to thank you guys for continuing to tune in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow the Women Are Worthy show. Now, with that said, I want to tell y'all something. Come a little closer. We did a great event on New Year's. Carla DeRosa and myself, we teamed up, we partnered. Women can work together. And we had an amazing event. It was a rocket event. And we talked about plant-based eating. We had speakers. Yo, come closer. We had 310 people in the building. That's what I say. 310 people who wanted to know about plant-based and raw. It was just phenomenal. So tonight's show is kindly sponsored by Rocket, and I really want to thank Carla DeRosa for sponsoring tonight's show. I really appreciate her. I love you, Carla. Thank you. So again, and I want to thank all the viewers out there. If you attended the event, it was phenomenal. Carla and I, we're now going to be doing some amazing things in Atlanta. I can't tell you what now, but you'll know in the future. So without further ado, we also want to thank Threadmill Complex for allowing us to be in this beautiful studio. What did you think when you walked in and you saw it was like?
Oh, it's gorgeous. Hands down, it's gorgeous. Oh, it's absolutely phenomenal.
So it's a beautiful place, and we're located at 5000 Austell Road, Powder Springs, Southwest Austell, Georgia. It is beautiful. So we want to thank the mayor, we want to thank the city councilors, we want to thank management, you know, the community communications director, everyone for allowing us to shoot the show. So now that I've done all housekeeping, because I kind of get my hands slapped from my interns, because I don't talk about, you know, the social media, I don't say thank you. So I just want to do that. So now on to tonight's show. We want to thank everyone again for tuning in. Now, so many, I posted some stuff on social media. So many women, especially particularly African American women, are dying during childbirth.
Correct.
So we have a wonderful guest joining us tonight. Her name is Gunthrie, and she is a birthing advisor.
Yay.
If you wonder what the birthing advisor is, tune into the show and keep sticking here. So we're also going to talk about doula.
Yes.
So first off, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Sharing your expertise with us. For those out there, what's a doula?
Okay, so essentially a doula is support. That's like the biggest thing. They are there to support you throughout your pregnancy. They're there to support you through breastfeeding, lactation counseling, and then they also are there for postpartum. If you've ever had a child or been pregnant, then you know the postpartum area can be a little bit of an adjustment, to put it
challenging.
To put it mildly. And then also being pregnant is a lot, you know, especially if you're a working woman, if you have health issues, knowing what you want. If it's a first-time child, they're there to give you ideas and guide you. But mostly they are there to support whatever your decision is as a mother, as a woman, throughout your birthing process, your labor, everything.
So why did you decide to get into this field? Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay,
And y'all, for all of the Jamaican who are watch this, she's a yardie. Yeah, we have a yardie on the shore.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so me, I have two kids. I have two daughters that I biologically have. And my first one, I was 22. I didn't know any better. She was at the hospital. I had the epidurals, getting me
Trauma.
Yes, all of it. You know what I mean? Cut the cord as soon as she was born. I mean, we went through the whole thing. She even got a couple of vaccinations, not all of them, but a handful. And then with my second, I just did a little bit more studying. I had transitioned my lifestyle to a more holistic lifestyle. So I was like, when I got pregnant, I was like, well, I know I don't want, you know, the vax. I don't want the cervical checks. I don't want the epidurals. I want a natural birth. So that just kind of led me to go and do some more studying. And ultimately, I decided on a home water birth. I went unassisted my entire pregnancy. Well, I went to the doctor once just to make sure my vitals were good, my iron and everything. After that, I never went back. I went through an unassisted birth as well. I did have I had a doula, but essentially, you know, I labored with me and my husband. She was there to help, and the baby was born, and that was kind of it. And then like the head doula came and weighed the baby, did check of her skull and everything, and that was it in a nutshell. All that I learned throughout that second pregnancy made me realize we don't know a lot about childbirth. We really don't know. And then at the same time, that was like a little bit after Beyonce and Serena Williams shared their stories about their birth trauma.
Yes.
And you know, it's coming. These things have been happening for years, but social media just brings it to light. Women have been dying in childbirth for years, especially women of color. We've been mistreated for years. It's nothing new, especially in the health industry or, you know, the medical field. But social media brings it to light. You know what I mean? So we see all these women who are go in perfectly healthy, have a normal pregnancy, a healthy pregnancy, and then they die during child labor in the hospital. Why is that happening? Why is it happening at such a higher rate than other cultures and races, and we're just not talking about it? So that kind of led me to that path of wanting to be involved in the birthing process for women of color.
So, okay, walk me through the process.
Yeah.
You had your first child, drama, trauma, and you had your second child in a more controlled environment.
Yeah.
That you were the captain of that ship.
Correct.
And your husband was present.
Right.
So, talk us through the difference, the experience.
Oh man, the experience. First of all, my pregnancies are better. That's number one. Like my first pregnancy, I had heartburn, I had the swollen feet. You know, they check you and they scare you like, oh, you might have this issue and those conditions, and we need to poke you and take this blood and take it. It was absolutely horrible. You know what I mean? I hated it. I was in school and college, but whatever. I didn't know any better, right? My second one, I breezed through. I didn't have any swelling. I had zero heartburn. I had full energy. Like I could go to bed at 10 o'clock and wake up at 5:30 and be pregnant. I was working out, doing yoga. I mean, you name it. I still had, at the time, I had a vegan meal prep business that we were doing. So I'm cooking, tons more energy, right? The actual part where it's time to deliver the baby, being that I was at home, I was able to control the atmosphere. In the hospital, as we all know, it's freezing. If you're pregnant and you're going through contractions, I don't want to be cold. I want to be whatever temperature I want to be. They tell you that you can't eat, which a lot of women don't know. The reason why they tell you that you can't eat is not in fear that you're going to poop on yourself or anything like that.
Surgery or something.
Yeah. Because if you're gonna have a C-section, you can't have you can't do surgery on the full stomach.
Look, let's break it down. I didn't come up with the right answer because, she guessed it. I have a medical background, so that's
yeah.
I'm not gonna play it off like, I knew it. I guessed the right answer.
Okay.
100, Alex.
Yeah, okay. No, that's fine. So, but yeah, that is the reason why. But they don't want you to eat. But when you're at home, you're able to eat. I mean, labor and bringing a life into this world is physically challenging. Why would you do that hungry? You know what I'm saying? You don't go run a marathon hungry, you know what I'm saying? So you should eat while you're going through labor. Not necessarily that you have to help, fried chicken or anything, but, drinking some coconut water, having some fruit, whatever you need to kind of help you go through it. Also, you might want to get in the water, you might want to get in the pool, you might want to get in the tub, take a shower, lay down. You're more able to move around in your comfort zone, which is your home, than compared to a hospital.
Right, which is sterile.
Which is cold, has 1,000 bright lights. You know what I mean? You're already, contracting, and if you ever have a contraction, you want to be as comfortable as you can possibly be. A hospital just doesn't have that, which then stresses the mother out, believe it or not.
So when you gave birth to your baby, right, and the first experience, how was the experience when the baby was born and when it was in a hospital environment, as opposed to being at home, the cries, how was the baby when the baby came out, their experience?
So the thing with my first daughter was that a lot of women are like, oh, the baby's so good when they first come out, blah, blah, blah. If you had an epidural, your baby's high. They're not good babies, they're just drugged up. You know what I mean? Because whatever you take while pregnant, the baby, which is the epidural, you're still pregnant, they receive. So all those painkillers and nerve relaxers, they have received it. So they come out, they're still technically on drugs, so they're sleepy. So of course she slept. She slept like first 2 days, she woke, ate, pooped, but she mostly slept. With my second daughter, not so much. Kind of came out, high pitched, like I'm letting y'all know I'm here. She was a little bit more lively, She wasn't necessarily a crybaby, but she was very lively. But I was still more comfortable because I was able to go from the pool to my bed, compared to being in a hospital where we're going from the labor room and birthing room to the, the non-labor birthing room and having to move and do all of that. And I'm able to take a shower in my own shower and just kind of, it was more comfortable. But the babies, she was more awake.
So what would you tell women out there who are considering becoming pregnant? Because let's face it, the doctors will scare you.
Yeah.
So especially when you're still, today's day and age, they're not really even thinking about doulas or home birth or whatever. They're still like that. So for a woman out there who's considering she's just getting married or she found out that she's pregnant, what's the advantage? Because I want people to have options. That's why this show is here, to give them options of other things that impact our lives. White, Black, Asian, diversity of women. That's what this show is about. So in your opinion, or if you can speak to someone out there, what would be the advantage, or why should they think about or consider a doula?
Oh, I mean, regardless, if you want to have a C-section, if you want to have hospital drug birth, a hospital unmedicated birth, whatever it is, you still want to have a doula to be there to support your decisions. Because when you're in the hospital and they're asking you 1,000 questions while you're contracting, you might not be able to really give the correct answer, the proper answer that you want to. But your doula is necessary. Like, think of it as like your best friend, your sister, your mom, whoever, being there. It's like, listen, she told me she wants this, and this is what we're gonna execute. It's not up for debate. We're not asking you. We're here to tell you what she wants. And even then, again, you might need help doing laundry. You might need help cooking food, especially like when the baby's born. If you watch some of the doula shows, you'll see some women, they want to have C-sections, and doulas do support that. But after you have your C-section in your home, you have just went through emergency surgery. You can't go around picking and lifting. So the doula is there to assist you with that. The doula is there to assist you pre-hand, like there's that nesting phase. Doulas help with that. They help. All of them are trained in like herbs and herbal medicine, so they can provide you with certain tinctures and teas. Baths and things of that nature, just to help you throughout the process and help you learn. Because yes, you're pregnant and you're growing a baby, but what stage is the baby at? What should you be eating at this stage to feed the baby's brain, to feed the kidneys, to make sure that you're as healthy as possible? Are you working out? And more importantly, on an emotional level, women, we're already emotional. When we get pregnant, we become even more emotional. So having that person that you can talk to and lean on to and just kind of express to and let you know, like, hey, you're not crazy, you're pregnant.
I like that, because I like that idea, because for the simple fact, you may have a significant other who may not be too sensitive to your needs, or the fact that you have another woman who, because that's what we did in Africa. When you listen to the stories that happened, you had women who were supporting you, rest up while you give birth, and we'll take care of it. That's what they did in the tribes and in the village. So I definitely support that idea. And I'm liking that, because there's so many options now. So how can one, and before I even go there, it's funny because, I love Erica Badu, and she's a doula.
Right.
She delivered so many kids. I read her story all the time, and, I think she said she lost count.
Yeah.
Just to see that when she dropped out of the music world, that's what she was studying. Yeah. And there's a young lady in Atlanta that she's a doula. We had her on the show, but again, we want people to have options. So for those, tell us a little bit about what is it that you do. Let's know about your work.
So me personally, I am more like a birthing advisor. I am not quite a certified doula yet.
Do you plan to be?
No.
Okay.
And the reason why is because the certifications require, the more prominent and popular ones, they require they prefer for doulas not to do unassisted births, whereas I support unassisted births. And an unassisted birth is basically when you don't have a midwife or a doctor per se, but you're doing it by yourself. Which is what me and my husband did, so I support those type of births. Okay. I'm more so going to do like the workshops and the trainings, just to get the knowledge, but I'm not going to get the certification, if that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so that's why I don't say I'm a doula, but I say I'm a birthing advisor. And more so, I come from a more holistic and herbal standpoint. I believe women, we were literally born to have children. Your body will not set you up for failure. It's just never going to happen. You know what I mean? So I support women really trusting their instincts and following what they knowing what they believe in, So I help with herbal teas. I think women should drink herbs while they're pregnant. It's all about the nutrition, for the baby. You're growing another human being that needs a lot of nutrition. So I'm big on herbs. I'm big on happy mom, happy baby. Whatever you're feeling while you're pregnant, whatever emotions you're going through while you're pregnant, that's transmitted to the baby. And if you don't want a fussing, crying baby, you have to be a happy pregnant woman. And I've had that with both my kids.
Energy.
Yeah, it's a transfer of energy. So whatever mom is feeling, baby's gonna. So I'm really big on stress management, emotions, managing their emotions while pregnant, learning how to kind of like block things out and really be selfish these next 9 months, because you want to produce a healthy baby. You want to be more conscious about what you're putting in your body. I'm trying to walk away from not pushing all my pregnant women to be vegan and plant-based. But it's better for the baby. And if you're not gonna cut meat out, that's fine. But you definitely need to be eating fruits and salads and drinking a lot of water every single day.
Well, what I want to tell you is, and I'm sure she wouldn't be upset, one of the ladies who I love, did I say love? Her name is Queenie Moore, and she's a vegan, and I just love her. She's pregnant now with twins.
Ooh, yeah.
And I think she's like 4 weeks, possibly less. The baby, her tummy dropped, but she is healthy. Yeah. She is just, and people constantly continue, they keep thinking that if you're vegan, because I'm working with some workout coaches, and when I show them what I'm eating, because it's not the eating that I need to do, I need to just work out more. And they're like, nope, you need to have more this, you can't have that. And you know, when you're plant-based, you don't have to have a caloric intake amount. What it is what's happening in the vegan world, there's a lot of processed vegan foods, and that's the issue. It's not, because you can, you know, this was put here, you know, well, I'm not gonna go on a tangent about vegan right now, because it's not that
will take us, because I'll go with you.
Yeah,
we'll go together.
That's another show. So, but I just want people to understand, just because a person's plant-based or vegan and they're pregnant, they're still getting the nutrition, because you're getting it from the greens and all that kind of stuff, and you get it from the herbs, you're getting it from the certain fruits and certain vegetables and things like that. You know, we deficient in vitamin D3.
Right, and it's like you just need to go outside. And it's funny, because I tell people when they argue about like the protein intake, we as a society do not eat predatory animals. We eat animals that eat grass. We eat animals that eat vegetation. So we're just skipping the animal and getting it straight from the source.
We're skipping the vessel, and that's what we're going to be talking about, Game Changers. And I think Game Changers is the first show, documentary on Netflix. And I don't promote a lot of stuff because they're not sponsoring, but I will promote that because that's the first documentary or anything that was produced that I thought that was perfect when it comes to protein. So people can understand weight gain and plant-based. Exactly. Winning, you know. So how can someone get in contact with you if they're saying, you know what, I want to get in touch with Ali and find out how to do this? So, because I'm definitely going to promote you, because I like what you're doing on my other platforms. I like what you're doing, and it's interesting to see that there's women out there that's willing to. We don't have to listen to the doctors. And this show, we're not advising. We're not a non-judgment zone. We're not telling you not to go to your doctors, but you may want to have another opinion, or for those who just don't want to use doctors, because again, we're all about what's good for you. I'm not here to tell you not to, but we're just showing us another option, another opportunity. So if they want to get in touch with you, Ali, how can they get in touch with you?
So I'm on Instagram. I share a lot of pregnancy tips and advice on Instagram, and it's Ali, O-L-L-I-E, the T-H-E, goddess, spelled correctly, G-O-D-D-E-S-S. And then my phone number, because I only have one number and I do call, and I answer text message calls, is 678-227-9416. And then on Facebook will not let me be great, and it makes me use my government name. So that is going to be Alwyn, O-L-W-I-N, and then Gunthrie, G-U-T-H-R-I-E. I share a lot on Facebook as far as tips and tricks, what to eat, what to do, how to work out, simple things like that. You know, just educating you on, you know, what is the vitamin K stuff that they give the babies, what is really an epidural, what really is circumcision, which I'm not going to get into today. But, you know, just really talking to you about those things and your options of having a home birth and I just want to also throw out there that I'm not blind to the fact, like, if you're having an emergency and you wanted to have a home birth, sometimes you just have to go to the hospital. There's no point in dying for a cause, you know what I'm saying? You and baby safety always trumps whatever your vision may have been, and just be aware of that sometimes. But a lot of things can be prevented through diet and lifestyle. I just want to add that.
So here you said something, and I do want to touch into this, and we have the opportunity to talk about it because this is your show. I'm just, I'm just here asking questions, so it is your show. My question, you didn't want to talk about circumcision. What's going on with circumcision? I mean,
so, you know, again, I'm really big on holistic and whatever the case may be, right? So if they didn't need it, they wouldn't have been born with it. You know what I mean? It's just really that simple, right? If you didn't need it, why is it there? And then it's like, I don't think of, a lot of people think like, oh, they just pull skin and cut it. That's not what that is. It's literally a major surgery that they're doing to somebody who has been maybe an hour old. You know, they just came out and they tie them down. They literally strap them down. You know, if you see the little thing, it's like, oh, it's so heartbreaking. But they literally strap them down, and there's like a whole section where they have to do a whole cut around. And also, people don't really realize like how many accidents happen. Like, that's a very, you know, important part of the male body, and a lot of them, you know, they say oops. So it's like, why touch it? So what happens when you have that extra foreskin, and you know you have to of course wash it properly and clean it? So you're for not having a child not. I mean, if a woman don't
comes
circumcise.
Okay.
I'm gonna I advise you not to circumcise him. If he didn't need it, he wouldn't be born with it. The statistics about, like the feelings and all that stuff, no, you teach him how to clean it properly and he will not have any issues. I know a lot of adult men, and another thing, it's really just an American thing. It's not really popular across.
In the West Indies.
And, I mean, anywhere else in the world, actually.
That's true.
And
That's true.
everywhere else in the world really doesn't practice it,
Right,
you know?
that's true.
And there's a lot of women who have husbands who are 40, 50, 60 years old who have never been circumcised and they don't get more infections. As a matter of fact, it prevents infections because it's, again, it's an extra
Skin.
protection. So you don't necessarily need to do it. Does it look nicer? Depends on where the woman is from. If she's somebody from a different country, it doesn't matter. She hasn't seen anything else, you know? And it's not necessarily about, I guess, the look of it per se, but does it work, you know? I mean, if it works, right? But
I would hope so.
Yeah, but if the nurse makes a mistake, right, now you went from having a healthy son to
Yes.
now what?
Yeah.
So it's like, why take that chance because you just don't want him to have that extra foreskin, or you don't want to do an extra cleaning? No, you know, if you're becoming a parent, you gotta do this. You don't want to do. You gotta wipe butt anyway, so you must clean the extra foreskin. So no, don't cut it. Leave it alone.
So what other advice and tips would you give for those out there? Because we talked about the circumcision. What other advice would you like to give someone out there?
Work out.
You know, work out.
Work out. If you are currently pregnant, and even if you're not currently pregnant, but you want to get pregnant, I highly recommend working out. The pain, well, it's not really pain. Contractions don't hurt from something, but it's not that they hurt. It's that you're in a high level of uncomfortableness, so therefore you think it's pain, but it's just really uncomfortable, right?
I mean, so what? You feel like your whole body's being ripped apart. You
Yeah.
said it's not pain.
It's not pain because a lot of us stress. We tense up, and when you tense
That's
up during
true.
labor, it makes it worse.
When you fall into it.
Right, and you
Yeah.
let it happen. That's why, like, both of my last labor was 2.5 hours from the time that my water broke to the time she was there. And I did not tense up. I didn't do any of that. I just kind of let it flow. Learning to take myself out of the situation by meditation really helped me process it.
And breathing.
And breathing.
Yeah.
Being calm, you have to remain calm. Like, you just have to keep your shoulders down.
Yeah.
When you're in labor, shoulders down at all costs. And it's like, if you don't remember anything else from this show, keep your shoulders down because that naturally means that you're in a unstressed. You're not tense, you're untense and your shoulders are down, right? So working out is really, really big. I teach that to everyone, I don't care what your diet is.
Right.
Because labor is, again, one of the most quote unquote painful thing a woman can go through. It will literally kill a man, right?
Yeah.
So if you think that you're gonna be able to go through that without physically preparing your body, you're mistaken. You have to think of it like a marathon. Think of it as the Olympics. Think of it, whatever you need to start training your body for that. So doing squats, doing lunges, especially the hip area where baby comes. You want to, get that nice and strong and nice and prepared so that you do have an easy and a quick labor as possible and drink lots of water.
So, okay, with that said, now, raising your child.
Ooh, yeah.
How would you now, because you're telling, you're advising, you would like them to go vegan. What are the myths that people have when it comes to newborn or having a child and going vegan?
There's so many, like protein is the biggest one, and if anybody can find me on medical record where somebody has died from lack of protein, I will literally give you money. I don't know how much I'll give you, but I will give you money because there's none. There isn't any. Now you can die from having too much protein, which is what preeclampsia is. You know what I mean? So get that out of your mind. Children are not supposed to be fat. They're just not. Believe it or not, they are supposed to be a little skinny. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which you see, that's not malnutrition.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, somebody who is overweight is more likely to be malnutrition than somebody who is not. Not saying it can't be both ways, but you're not feeding your body. So don't think that they're not getting the nutrients, they're not getting the nourishment that they need. As long as they're eating avocados, and for those who can eat walnuts and the healthy fats, and they're eating their chickpeas, and they're having hummus and beans and quinoa and all those things, they got it.
And I'm glad you said that. What causes
preeclampsia?
I'm glad you said that because there's someone that I know, and her daughter-in-law had a stroke, and they found out that's what it was. So I'm encouraging her, and I'm sure she's watching.
Eat avocados.
So we want to talk more about that because one thing, it's so funny because in America they call it avocados, in Jamaica we call it pears.
Yeah.
It's
the funniest thing.
So I'm always eating it, but I'm always, this coach that I'm with now, she's like, well, you can't have this many avocados, you can't do that. And my thing is, again, this is not a show on just plant-based, it's about, doula and the power of birthing.
Right.
But I want people to understand that, eating things like that, it's healthy for your body because you need the good fats.
You need the good
and
fats.
I can eat an avocado, I can eat a whole avocado all day. You know what I'm saying? I just love it, so it's great to see. I was working with some guys They had a plant-based restaurant.
Okay.
My girlfriend brought her niece in there, and we made, it was a cabbage, celery, it was a shake.
Okay.
And this little girl, she's not even 2 years old. She was sipping on it. Her mother took it away from her, and she wanted to cry. I have the video in my phone. She wanted to cry. So when I hear parents talk about they can't give this to their child because their child doesn't like it, I just don't get that. Because you have to also absorb that and eat that as well.
Correct.
You know?
So what it is, at the end of the day, what you put in front of children is what they eat. So if you're giving your kids hot Cheetos, they're gonna eat hot Cheetos. If you're giving them fruits and vegetables, they're gonna eat fruits and vegetables. I have an 8-year-old. My husband, me and him, perfect relationship. My 8 and my 5-year-old are 15-month-old is us together, right? Our 8 and 5-year-old are no vegan. They eat smoothies, they eat hummus. We make, vegan pizza. I mean, plant-based because we don't do the processed foods like I stated. But they eat it. They don't complain. They don't have no problem. When they go out and hang out with their other friends and people try to give them candy, they let them know that we don't eat that. You know what I'm saying? Sugar is not good for us, you know what I mean? So it's all about you, and if you already have a child that is on the hot Cheetos and the hot dogs and the processed food diet, you as a parent have to be prepared to do what you have to do to transition them, because it's not about what they do and don't like, it's about what's gonna keep them alive and keep them healthy, because you don't want them having juvenile diabetes. You don't want them having high blood pressure and being overweight and obese at 9 and 10, you know what I mean? It starts now making those healthy decisions as a family.
And it's happening now because I had several interns. One of my interns in particular, her mother. I was in Kroger and I didn't see her, and she saw me getting some nuts because I'll run to. Did I mention a store name and they're not sponsoring the show? Okay. Said store. Okay. Basically, I would walk in like if I can't go to the health food stores, and I would buy their nuts, their cashews.
Yeah.
So anyway, the mother saw me, and I guess she was looking to see what I was picking up and what I was going to buy to see like, okay, is she really authentic? Well, anyway, by doing that, she comes over to me and she says, my daughter has high cholesterol. And I'm like, I didn't know this. And she's like, she's taking 2 high cholesterol medications. And, that's blood pressure and all of that. And she was 13.
Oh no, that breaks my heart.
13. So that's why, Carla and I, what we're trying to bring to the table is we want to talk about healthy eating.
Yeah.
We want to go into the schools. We want to do a lot of things because, again, the world can use another person talking about it.
Right.
And for me, it's just important because I'm working with some of these kids, I see what's going on,
Yeah.
So I really commend you on what you're doing because the fact is you're an expert, you're an advisor, and you want to show women there's another way of giving birth. Because let's face it, when Eve was giving birth,
There was no doctor.
Thank you.
But people don't even understand Western hospitals are only like 100 years old.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, people really have to. I want to add one more thing too.
Sure.
So as women, right, when you are pregnant with a little girl, your grandchildren are already there. A woman is born with all the eggs that she will ever have. So what you eat while pregnant affects generations to come. So that means that if your grandchild is born with an illness, it actually started with you because of what you ate when you were pregnant with their mother. So that's a big thing, it's a generational thing. Like, people are like, oh, my grandma ate bacon until she was 90 and she's fine. Yeah, but her grandmama was in the sun all day, walking around barefoot.
Wait a minute, here we
You
go.
know what I'm
I'm
saying?
glad you said that because I have
It's
this
not the
one
same.
guy, we talk on social media, and he said to me, my grandmother or grandfather died at 93 and they ate meat. Yeah, because they were out there picking cotton.
Right.
They were working hard, they were walking wherever they went. And here's the big thing, there wasn't GMOs. Okay?
Oh my God,
There wasn't steroids, okay?
Yes.
So you know who I'm
Antibiotics.
talking to. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's a lot of things that people are like, oh, why does everybody have a gluten intolerance all of a sudden, right? And I always tell them, it's not that it's all of a sudden. The wheat that you're eating today is not the wheat that was eaten 100 years ago. It has changed over time. And again, like I said, with your grandmother, the tolerance has been building up for generations. It's not something that's new. This is something that has been, I'm not gonna start on that path, but it's something that has been thought about decades ago, you know what I mean, to get to where we are now. So that's one option. As long as to let pregnant women know, it's very crucial about what you eat, especially when you're pregnant with a little girl. Another thing, again, I went unassisted, so I didn't know what I was having until the baby was born. It's not that big of a deal, I don't think a lot of us do. There's no scientific studies showing if there's any harm.
That's
and everything
true.
that goes on your skin goes inside of you. As we know, your skin is your biggest organ.
Right.
So we need to take caution of that. Stop cutting the umbilical cord.
Why?
Oh my God.
No, I know, but I mean, I
Yeah.
know,
They don't actually have
why?
why.
Okay.
because that is all of the, as 1/3 of the baby's blood is still inside the placenta. It can literally save your child's life by not doing delayed cord cutting. I recommend a lotus birth, but if you can't do that, that's fine. But at least 3 to 4 hours, if possibly 12 to 24 hours, let it pump out. All those stem cells that are inside that placenta, your baby needs that. It helps with brain development, that helps with, antibiotics, so it doesn't get, you don't have to give them the vaccine, but that is the nature's natural version of it. So don't cut the cord.
Let me tell you, I am so glad. I can't remember how I called you, how we connected, but I just knew you knew your stuff, and that's why I wanted you on the show, because we have so many women, and for me, it boggles my brain, because first of all, as an African American woman, I hear so many women when they're going to the doctors, forget about being pregnant, and what they're saying, the doctors are not here. So you have to, so many women go home, they send them home, and they don't wake up anymore, and it's almost like, and I want people to be their own advocate, constantly. If there's, you got to be your own advocate at the very least. So it's great to see that you're giving another portion, another side of the information when it comes to giving birth. Because when I did the research and I found out how many women, I did the stats on, I put it on social media, how many Black women are dying in childbirth. We're in 2020 now, but in 2019, we're sending people to the moon, where we can look at a phone and see another person in another country and talk to each other, and we can't get this down pat. So what I'm hearing from you, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Queen, that we need to control even our birth.
Facts. And it's not even just our birth, but just our health in general. Like, if the doctor tells you that you have something, stop taking it for face value. Go research it. Like, a lot of people think that, even like their eyesight, my eyesight is getting bad. No, that's your diet. You don't have enough beta carotene in your diet. You can repair your eyesight. You know what I mean? You can do a lot of things to help yourself be healthier, but you just need to go do the research. And don't just do the research on a medical level, but find out the holistic way. There is a herb for every single thing. Even somebody who has, for example, high cholesterol, your blood flow isn't correct. You need to eat more cayenne. That's something simple. People don't even realize that cayenne, can really help pump the blood. Blueberries, antioxidants. Really understand what the core root of your health issue is, and then find the foods and find the herbs that you need to start consuming to help replace that. And I'm gonna add one more thing about the babies.
Go ahead, keep talking.
So babies are born with this little white stuff on them, right? And everybody hates it. They always want to wash it off. Stop. Rub it in. They need that. They are born with it. Everything, your body is so perfect, you know what I mean? Labor is so perfect, babies are born so perfect. It's so intelligent how it all works out, right? And it mixes together. That white stuff that you see babies born with, they're like, it's so icky. Rub it in there. If you don't like it, that's fine, but rub it in. Because again, that is something that helps boost their immune system. That's why you have a lot of kids getting sick. Like, my daughter is, I don't know how old she is, 17, 18 months, whatever, right? She has never had an ear infection. She's never been sick. She's not had any vaccines. As a matter of fact, she taught herself how to hold a pen. To this day, me and her dad have no clue who showed her how to hold a pen. She knows how to hold a pen. She is learning 2 languages right now, Swahili and English, and she can speak both of them. And she is not even 2. Now, the other 2, they smart, they intelligent, but they ain't got this one. Like, she is by far the most intelligent baby that we've had so far, and I know a lot of that has to do with what I ate while I was pregnant, the lifestyle that I lived, and what we did with her birth and everything.
Your lifestyle and how your state of mind, like your mental state, because my sister has like 7 kids, and I promise you, she never went. I'm telling you, at one point my sister was giving birth, she was sitting on the commode, and her daughter was crowning. And it was like no big deal. And when the baby's born, because she would rub it. And again, back in Jamaica and stuff, a lot of things we do, holistically.
It is.
Holistic. So, because for me, my goal is, what I want to help people with is, your doctor puts you on medication is always a side effect. And in the Black community, African American community, Latino community, Asian community, high blood pressure is running really rampant. And we want to help.
In America. In general. We're just unhealthy as a society.
And you have to be careful, because when you're on those meds for a long time, it affects your kidney. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and it's why dialysis is popping up everywhere.
So we want to make sure that, people are eating the right herbs to eventually taper off the medications and have that that help. So the fact that you told us that you actually had this birth. Now, was your husband kind of nervous when you told me you're going to do it at home? He just jumped in?
In fact, it was his suggestion. You know what I mean? Like, I will definitely, give him credit where credit is due.
Okay.
He is the reason why, I'm the plant-based vegan and the holistic lifestyle was definitely him. I, had a lot of roots from, again, growing up Jamaican, certain things we just did. We did the bitters, we've been drinking bitters our whole lives.
What?
And, we don't take medicine, we don't do vaccines, I don't know what's in that, So all of that was there, but he really took it to the next level for us and really we didn't give me the education, but showed me where to go to find the education. So we've done a lot of herbal classes together, learning how to mix them, which ones go together, which ones don't go together, which ones cause, which ones help with which issue, which ones you eat, which ones you soak in, just kind of those different things. So, when we got pregnant, it was, we just knew this was gonna be a home birth. I decided that I wanted to do the water. And it's very funny, don't be like us, be prepared, because we just walking around like not knowing our due date. And I was like, oh, my water broke, the pool's here though, so, let's blow it up really quickly. And he caught the baby. It was like an amazing thing. He was in the pool when it happened. We got some great pictures. I had an aunt there, and I think we spoke on it a little bit, but I really want to touch back on it. Like in ancient times, it was the elder women of the village that came to your aid when you were pregnant. You know what I mean? And even in some cultures now, like I think Moroccan weddings, like this video went viral. The mom doesn't do anything for like 2-3 months after the baby. They come, they do the yoni steam. Really important after postpartum healing. We talk a lot about birth and labor, but postpartum is the 4th trimester. And it's important. It's when you went from having all these highs to an immediate drop in emotions and in hormones, and that's where that postpartum depression comes from. But I don't like to call it depression because it's not that you're sad, but it's just a change. You just went from you just went from a change. So you have this baby that needs you now. Every 2 hours on the hour, if not more or less. You're healing because you just went through something traumatic. You also are looking at your body postpartum, which there's pre-baby, we find. Post-baby, oh, it's so beautiful, there's belly. But we don't talk about that, that 2-3 weeks afterwards where you just have this belly that looks like you're pregnant, but ain't no baby in there. And you're feeling some type of way as a woman, you don't feel as beautiful, you don't feel as attractive, and blah, blah, blah. All these things. So it's like, that's where the elder women come in. That's where a doula comes in. That's where that postpartum doula comes in to be there for you, to help you. Hey, listen, I got your smoothie. It's okay to sit here. You don't have to be superwoman. I think we all suffer from that complex in today's society, feeling like we gotta go, go, go. I'm gonna have the baby on my back, and I'm gonna cook dinner for my husband still. And no, you're not. You're gonna sit
going
down.
Back to work before 6 weeks. Oh my God.
Listen, so
Jesus.
yeah, I did that with my first. I was in college and I was working, and I remember everybody like in my whole life had this uproar because I was back to work within a week and a half. And they were like, what are you doing? I was like, Georgia Power don't care that I'm pregnant. With my second, I stayed home for a year, and I kind of coasted. And I mean, technically, I do independent work, but I'm a real estate, so I coasted, whatever, right? I understand why if you can, I definitely recommend it. You know what I mean?
Right, because
it's
times you have to give that time, and it's great now because a lot of companies are doing so mother has maternity leave, father's paternity, and some grandparents, depends on what company you work for, they're getting that as well. Because you just hit the nail on the head. In other cultures, you're laying down, because I know, like with my sister, they gave her the band to put around her tummy. It wasn't I don't want to call it Spanx, but but it was something that was way different and way healthier for you. And my sister snapped back snapped up.
Knots on the side.
Just like that. So
it's healthier. No, do not waist train after postpartum, please.
Don't waste time. Don't go there.
Yeah, please do not.
Don't go there.
Just don't do that. That's not the proper way to come back. Okay, there's healthy ways and then there are unhealthy ways, and also understand that your body probably will never be the same.
Because we don't want your organs to be up here. That belongs down there.
That belongs down there. That's supposed to go. You're not supposed to look like that.
So if someone wants to hire you again, and like, what is it exactly that you do? Because you're an advisor. What is it that you advise? Where do you do it? How do you do it? So if someone wants
it's all about the client, like what you need. Like I have one of my sorority sisters, for example, she's pregnant. I'm gonna make all her smoothie bags for her. You know what I mean? Because I'm really big on making sure you get sea moss and certain things post. Yeah, during pregnancy, I've been making, so I'm really big on that. Whatever you need me to be. If you want me to be there for the birth, I definitely will be there for the birth. I'm working on getting my own personal agendas out of it though, because again, it's not about you, it's about these babies and this is the future generation, and I don't want women birthing unhealthy kids.
Oh my God, draining the system.
Yeah, I don't want that. So if you're telling me like, oh, I'm gonna vaccinate my kid, I'm probably not gonna come. because I don't support that. But if you want to talk to me on the phone and, you know, have a healthy pregnancy, that's fine. But I'm not going to be there for the birth because I know I've got a mentor. She's trying to help me work through that.
Your personal issues versus theirs because because I go through that.
Yeah, I'm working on separating the two.
Right.
But it's like, you came to me because you knew my agenda.
Right.
So then why would you want to hire me if you're not on board, right? I'm fine with hospital births because I get it. Not everybody wants to do it at home, but I'm not okay if you tell me, oh, I'm gonna get the epidural, I'm gonna get the C-section. Well, then you don't really need me because you're not gonna feel anything.
And the whole point of it being hospital being cold because they think about germs.
Yeah.
But when you're in the hospital, you forget about all the sicknesses and illnesses that you come down with, and because I had a friend in the hospital and doctors, because we were part of that, doctors washing their hands and all that stuff. And I keep telling people when you go to the hospital, I was in there with a friend and the doctor came over and touched her, the nurse came over and touched her, and I looked at her and she says, my friend is going to be upset because you keep touching me and you're not washing your hands. And you're supposed to let them know, but because of them being the level that they were doctors and nurses, she was embarrassed. And I'm like, no, this is a matter of life or death. And you have cancer, so you want to make sure they're supposed to wash their hands,
And it's crazy how we get into that room and we're so quiet and we feel so insignificant. We feel like we don't know what we're talking about. No, believe it or not, you hired them. So they're actually there to serve you. So, and another thing too, if you want to take your placenta home and you have a hospital birth, don't sign that piece of paper. You don't have to sign nothing.
Really?
Yeah, you do not have to sign that piece of paper. You ain't got to sign that piece of paper if you want to take the placenta home, if you want to waive the vitamin K shot. You don't have to sign nothing. That is not up to you to do. You can tell them no really quickly and grab
So
your
why
baby
is
and
it
walk
that
out.
they're giving them the vitamin K shot?
It's for women who have like gonorrhea and the baby comes through the candle.
So they want to make sure.
It's for that purpose, right? So because if the baby again, they're coming through the tunnel, whatever, and if the gonorrhea is on their eyes, you don't want that. So that's for it. But all babies don't need it.
And that's what I'm saying. Okay, this is not that show.
Okay. You about to go to the.
Watch out for the other show because we'll be talking about stuff where I'll be giving my opinions. So now that do you have a website?
Not necessarily for this, but you can go to Gunthrie.com. It's like my one and all website because I do so many different things and I haven't really, I don't want to have that many websites, so I was kind of having.
So you're a realtor?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I do like the holistic coaching, which kind of goes over to birth because I help women get pregnant. I got a couple who are pregnant now because of me. Because if you have fibroids, you can get pregnant. If you have endometriosis, you can get pregnant. As long as you have a uterus and some fallopian tube and you got some sacs, you can get pregnant.
And see, and that's the thing because I know when I had fibroids, the doctor was telling me, and it's because, I shared the story where, being vegan and then I started eating chicken and all that kind of stuff and, getting fibroids, and the doctor told me, you need a hysterectomy. I went to 3 doctors and they told me, and the third doctor said, you have to have a hysterectomy. And had I been another person, I think I would have been, because I'm very assertive, I think I would have been really scared the way he was talking to me.
Yeah.
So I just said thank you, but I didn't use the word thank you.
Right.
And left because I said to him, I was born with this. Why would I take it out? Why would I take it's not cancerous? And then I had another doctor tell me, well, when we remove it, we'll remove this, we'll remove that. But I said, wait a minute, but I don't have cancer, doesn't run in my family.
Right.
Why do I need to take, why do I need to do that?
Correct.
And then people don't understand when they're removing this thing, yes, it's a major surgery, but they're taking things out. That's almost like when you're having a C-section.
Right.
They're pulling everything out and then they have to put it back in. And I don't think women really understand this hysterectomy.
They don't.
They don't. My girlfriend, she had one, and I'm like, but you
Throws
know,
off your hormones.
yes.
They're literally, okay, so man and woman, right? What makes you a woman is your womb.
Right.
What makes a man is his parts, right?
Right.
If they take that is literally taking the life source out of you. So they don't tell you that it cuts roughly about 10 to 15 years off your life when they remove it. So even if they leave half of it, like some of them will do, they don't tell you about the imbalance that comes.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's needed. If you need a hysterectomy, and I don't even care if it is cancerous, I'm always going to tell you about a holistic birth because you can shrink a fibroid. You can shrink a cancerous fibroid. You can starve it out. It's what you're eating. Like you said a moment ago, like cancer doesn't run in my family. Cancer technically runs in nobody's family. Bad diet runs in everybody's family.
That's it. Yeah.
That's what it is. Because I'm 99% sure that my kids aren't gonna do it because they're not eating a lot of dairy, they're not eating a lot of processed food, they're not eating a lot of sugar, they're not eating a lot of caffeine and just GMOs and pumping
And
their body full of
that's what feeds the cancer. That's what feeds all the other things. And then the biggest thing that people need to understand also, that inflammation ain't no joke.
Oh my God,
You know,
yeah,
that inflammation.
yeah.
So when you said cayenne pepper and I do, you know, turmeric, and
Yeah.
I put that in everything that even when I'm cooking, I put that in everything that I do.
So sprinkle.
Exactly that, and you put your little black pepper to ignite it. You know, things. I drink the golden milk. You know, you know. So we do all of
little
that.
things like that.
Yeah. So
it seems small, but it's huge.
because my husband was having
Inside.
problems with his fingers, and he said it was tight. And I said, okay. So of course, when he went to the doctor, they wanted to give him some injections, and I'm like, no, you're not getting injections.
Yeah.
I started giving him turmeric with black pepper, and I gave him some, and I made my own almond milk because a lot of almond milk out here. They say they have no sugar, but it's a lot of sugar.
And preservatives.
Thank you.
Citric
So,
acid and black mold.
in order, because again, we were talking about something yesterday about almond milk, how it can last on the shelf for like 10 days or 15, 20 days when you make your own.
It's like 35 days.
Thank you.
You
So
can
what we do
drink quick.
is, so I gave that to him, and his fingers started feeling better. So I give that to him. I said, every morning, this is what you're gonna drink every
Period.
morning. So
And
he's been drinking
it
that.
helps with the blood flow, it helps with the muscles and things of that nature. So, like I said, that's why I said, like, everything that you have, any health issue you have, there's something that you can eat to assist with that. So, again, with the postpartum, like, I think it's very important, even if you don't have a doula, do throughout the pregnancy, to have one after birth and going on, because you're gonna need that help with the laundry and the cleaning and just taking care of things around the house, especially for my new mommies. Because we have this idea, and we see on social media all these celebrities and their babies, and they got nannies that y'all don't see.
Yes.
Okay, so.
And if you're just tuning in, we have Gunthrie on here, and she's the birthing advisor, and I'm telling you, she's phenomenal. So I want you guys to hit her up. We're definitely going to put that, because we're going to edit this show and put it out there. So we want you to hit her up. We want you to call her. We want you to email her, because she has a wealth of information. If you know someone who's pregnant and they may benefit, please reach out to me. If if you're not getting it now, reach out to me and I'll give you her information, because I'm telling you, it's worth it. The information is worth it. And what's the worst? You have a consultation and you decide to say no. You know what I'm saying? So insurance doesn't cover this yet.
Right.
Yet. So, but in the time being, just listen to the information, share it. If you're watching the show, share it. If you're watching the after show, share it. You know, after we post the show, share, because this is valuable information, because doula is so important. And, you're seeing a lot of people doing this, and we want to have healthy babies. We want babies who are going to survive. I've seen these kids who are on these medications at such a young age. I know growing up and this is true, when I was growing up, it was rare to see someone overweight. It was almost rare to see someone in glasses.
Right.
Now it's rare to see someone who's thin or trim or healthy.
It becomes a trend to be sick.
Yeah.
It becomes normal. We're normalizing sickness.
Yes.
And no one wants to talk about how these children are getting sick. And I plan on posting it. I'm gonna post it tonight or tomorrow. And I was on I ruffle feathers all the time on Facebook. But if your child is before the age of 5 or younger and they have a sickness, it's the mom's fault, because that started in the womb. You know what I mean? That means that she didn't eat something correctly while pregnant, and then whatever you do as pregnant, probably what you're gonna do when baby gets here. There's no reason why you're giving your 7-month-old ice cream.
Man, preach it. Ice cream, no.
Food.
Dairy.
What they don't tell you is that babies cannot process foods until they turn 1. So no child before the age of 1 needs anything besides mother's milk. And then I'm not gonna get started on formula. Throw it in the trash. You're better off making some hemp milk, or giving them some coconut milk, or some allergy type milk. But hemp milk is the safest. Or even donor milk. Like, I hate the fact that people are like, oh, I'm not giving my baby another person's milk, but you're about to give it cow's milk. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense.
Ooh.
You're better off giving donors. And there's plenty of women who will give you milk for free.
Right.
You know what I mean? But no child before the age of 1 needs solid foods. Their digestive system is not built up yet. So when you see those babies who are drooling, it's not cute. That means that they got food that's not digested, and their body's producing saliva trying to digest it.
And not only that, when you're drooling, and especially when they're eating dairy and you're giving baby cheese, you're giving them the hot dogs. Yeah, you get inflammation and all of that. Yeah, that is so true. Ooh.
Ear infection, like babies, there's no such thing as painful teething, right? So we've all had our teeth fall out, right? When your teeth grew back in, did it hurt you? Right, so that's not what's going on with them. What's going on with them is that they're inflamed and then their gums are pushing out this thing, and this is not getting drained out because you've given them, you know, ice cream and cookies and sugars and all kinds of stuff, and the baby don't eat no type of fruit. Like my daughter has had plenty of sleepovers, and I have to tell the kids, like, listen, either you gonna eat this fruit or you gonna starve your mama in here. And I already told your mama what I do and what I don't do. So she left you here for a reason. You can either have this watermelon, which it shocks me when I meet kids like, I don't eat fruit.
Oh my God, yeah.
You're 5. I don't know what to tell you about that. You know what I'm saying? You need to eat some fruit. But yeah, so babies don't need solid food before 1. Like that's such a myth. Don't give it to them. If my baby's hungry, no baby is gonna starve itself. They are born with the innate ability of survival. If they have to choose between mommy dying and baby dying, the baby gonna live. I promise you. Babies are born to survive. That's all they know is survival. If it's hungry, it will eat. Period.
You know what? It's just been, right now, whether you know it or not, she's going to be our resident birthing advisor. So anyone that I know that's having a baby, I'm definitely going to give out your contact information because I come across so many women because you really made it more comfortable and for me to give out the information to other women. And I just want people to understand the information is here. We just have to search it out.
Yeah.
And just give out your information one more time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So my phone number is 678-227-9416. I do block crazy people though. I just want to throw that out there. People are like, why do you give your number out? Because there's a block button.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Instagram, which is Ollie, O-L-L-I-E, the T-H-E, Goddess, G-O-D-D-E-S-S. And then Facebook is Alwyn, O-L-W-I-N. Gunthrie, G-U-T-H-R-Y-E. I'm like the only person smiling big here. All right. Find me on there. If you have any birthing questions, I definitely will answer. We do consultations. If you want teas to help with lactation, every woman can breastfeed. I don't care who you are. If you got titties, you can breastfeed. As long as no nuggets are there, you can breastfeed. You just gotta, get your body to produce the milk, and that's fine. If you are wanting to get pregnant, I can assist you with getting pregnant as long as, like I said, you have a uterus, we can get you there, and some eggs pumping, we're good. And if you are currently pregnant and you want to just have a natural holistic pregnancy, I'm definitely here for that. I want all the healthy babies in the world to be born as much as possible so we can, not beat our medical system as much. Yeah.
And I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Women Are Worthy page. Share the page. The after show, please share the page. If you're looking at it on the repeats or, when we post it, share the show because this was just, I really felt you just basically, made me feel really good because we're giving out, and that's why I created this show, for us to have a platform where we can share valuable information, educate, entertain, and empower people. So I really thank you, Miss Ollie, for coming on the show. And again, next week, it's a holiday. It's MLK. So we will not be with you next week. We will be with you on, I believe it's the 27th. So I am going to use that time in meditating, thinking about what MLK has done, and the great work that he's done. So I'm going on a spa day. Okay? So I'm just going to enjoy, and I want you guys to take that time off, or just remember to have self-care, because I'm always talking to you guys about self-care. Always talking about self-care. Everyone, man, woman, child, you need to have self-care. And I want to thank everyone for just sending me well wishes because of my puppy and everything, and I want to thank you guys for doing that. Thank you for supporting the Women Are Worthy show. And I also need you guys to, I'll do another post on that later. But again, we want to thank Rocket for supporting this segment of the Women Are Worthy show. And we'll see you next week. But before I go sign off, don't forget to like us on Facebook. It's the Women Are Worthy show. Don't forget to like the Women Are Worthy show on Facebook, the Women Are Worthy show on Instagram, the Women Are Worthy show on Instagram. And on YouTube, it's the Women Are Worthy network. Did I do it right? Okay. Ooh, you should have seen the look she gave me. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on 27. Bye-bye.